Hi there, everyone. I recently had somebody reach out to me and ask me to expand a little bit about how I made the cable that goes from the transmitter on the accordion into the accordion itself. The gentleman's name is Branco, and he reached out to me recently on Facebook. I friended him, and we had a little discussion. Very nice guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about how I made that cable. Well, a long time ago, I had transmitters that were a little bit different from the ones that I have today. These were actually made here in Quebec, Canada, and what they did very well was they sent a strong signal, and it was in stereo. However, they had a very high latency. Now, if you're just recording, that's not a problem. They can have like a 5-second latency for all we care. What we do is we synchronize the recording in the post-process later. But if you're playing live, latency does become a very big issue. And so I moved on to a different system of transmitter. These here, when they were originally made, were of the female quarter-inch plugs. They were both in stereo. So my transmitter was a female stereo plug, and the receiver was a female stereo plug, which was interesting because I could make then a cable for them. And this cable was a male stereo plug that would fit into the transmitter, and these would go into the accordion. On the other side, I made a very similar cable where this side would go here, and the the receiver would come out into two mono plugs and go into my mixer. At the time, it was the perfect solution for me for the recordings. But as I said, I wanted to do a little bit of live gigging, and for that, these transmitters were definitely not for me. I then moved to the GWS-28 model of Guitaria wireless transmitter and receiver. Unfortunately, it had a male stereo, and my cable had a male stereo, which gave me one of two things. I had to make a decision. Did I want to cut this cable, or did I want to keep them compatible with my other receivers for the future, if for whatever reason, and still have them both able to work? My solution that I chose to do was to buy what's called a gender changer. So this is a female quarter-inch stereo on one side and a female quarter-inch stereo on the other. So when I plug this side into here and this side into here, they worked. And that's how it looked like. So now I have one cable that is compatible to both of my transmitters. The cable itself looks a little bit like this, and it's a very nice cable that I handmade myself. It only took me a couple of hours, and what you can see is that this cable actually comes in 3 pieces. One piece here, another piece here, which there come over here, and they link together into one cable. And I use a little bit of shrink wrap here and there to help keep them together. I used a shrink wrap piece here to help make sure that my connection was strong. And actually, if you take a close look, you can see that I double shrink wrap them here for strength. And I also used a little piece of shrink wrap here. If you have a good eye, you'll see also that I used some shrink wrap, clear shrink wrap, as opposed to black shrink wrap over here to make these here a little bit thicker so that I would have a little bit more of a bite, and keeping them a little bit thicker and a little bit more secure over the long term. Now you can tell that I'm using a stereo plug. This is a quarter-inch stereo plug, okay? And you can tell that this is quarter-inch plug because it's divided off into 3 sections. And these 3 sections have a very specific pinout. The tip would be the left, the middle would be the right, The ground is your long part here. If I was to show you a diagram of how that would be built, it would look a little bit like this. So this part here would be the transmitter, okay? And we would see that our wiring goes into the accordion in a very specific way. So the red, blue, and black would be the wiring on the inside. On the accordion, you have your left and your right inputs. Okay, if you recall, those are mono plugs with 2 jacks on them. Okay, and these 2 jacks individually have your positive and your negative on each side. So the ones that I just had on the screen represent one of these each, and they plug into the accordion. And you can see how I have it wired up inside. You can tell that I have the ground from the right and the left linked together, and they go to the ground on the transmitter. And the transmitter has a left and a right as well, except the left, which I've identified with a blue stripe here, goes to the left on the left plug of the accordion, and the red one, which would be the red wire here, goes to the right side on the accordion. And that's it. That's the entire process. Now, going back to the gender changer that I happened to have a little bit earlier, if you're making your cable for this one, you don't have to do this, what I did. You just go and buy a female stereo plug and you wire it up. That way, you skip this little step of needing to do this. However, if you just happen to have a wire already made and they both are male, a gender changer is the solution for you. And that's basically everything to it. The other cable on the other end, meaning the side on the transmitter, is built exactly the same way like this one. However, there is one small difference on this cable compared to the other side. And if you take a look, this is it right here. You will notice that this cable here is a little bit longer than this one here. And that's because of the way we place the wire into the accordion, so that one side is a little bit longer than the other. Take the time to measure it out so it comes out even for you on this end here. Okay, and then there's less strain on the system overall. On the other side, it doesn't matter. You can have them both equal length. And here's a little plus. Even if, for whatever reason, you might make a mistake and you put the left side on the right and the right side on the left, then on the mixer, where you have this plug, you just take this plug and you put it into the other side and put that one on the other side. So you would have one for the left, one for the right. So it makes no difference on the other side. No matter how you wire this up here, depending on what side you place into your mixer, that will define what side is left and what side is right. So even if you wire things up incorrectly in terms of these two here at the top, you can reverse them at the mixer side. Everything will fit perfectly on the accordion side. Okay. I hope that this has been educational. Hope you've had as much fun watching me discuss this as I had making it. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.